everyone, it's Jody again, founder of Let Go Be. Thank you for coming back, and thank you for watching the first video, greatly appreciated. As I promised in the first video, I would show you and explain to you the concept and the power of how to let go be. You know, I found that it's really three principles that continued to keep me miserable. Number one is acceptance. Is accepting people, places, things, and situations for what they are. Usually the reason we have trouble accepting, and again, I can only speak for myself, but I am finding throughout this journey of Let Go Be that I'm not much different from anyone else. That we're really on this same journey, and our experiences are somewhat alike, just different circumstances. I found that in the past, usually what kept me disappointed, frustrated, angry, and I'm sure people can relate. You've got coworkers that just tremendously just keep you miserable. I found if I can just truly add acceptance into my heart and lower the level of expectations, I seem to be able to stay in the day. And if I don't, I have an alter ego and I name her Joni. Joni's been driving my bus for a long time. And I'm going to tell you a quick story. I read it in this book. It was called Stage 2 Recovery. And it's by Ernie Larson. And he was a psychiatrist, and he was working in some psych ward. And there's this guy, Al, that apparently did way too many drugs in his lifetime, which kept him, what Ernie Larson said in this book, he said Al was always present in the room. He never physically left, but his mind would go back and forth. So that he said in the book that one day Al woke up, and everybody paid attention because Al says, "I know the answer." And of course Ernie looks at him and says, "What's the answer?" He goes, "Imagine that you have this trap door in your forehead and you can open it up, and when you look in there, all you see is a big Greyhound steering wheel." He even said, with, you can see a badge with a nice little hat and even a big leather seat there. Al said, "The problem with my life is I've had a junkie driving the bus." And I had to laugh at that because you know what? Nowadays, if things are happening, people piss me off. It happens. I have to look back at myself and accept that I can't control anything outside of me but me. So when I find myself not accepting things, it's causing me all this misery because I may have expectations. Somebody didn't do what they should have done. I look at myself, or I ask myself, I say, "Hey, Joni, who's driving your bus today?" You might want to put Jody back behind the wheel because Joni is not doing you a good service at this moment. She has created more animosity than needs to be there. So literally, I'm telling you, just focus on where you're at. Ask yourself, what is bugging me in this moment? Ask yourself what your part is in this emotion that you're feeling. I guarantee you it will have a lot to do with expectations. I'll give you a prime example on acceptance here too. I called my mom one night. I said, "Hey Mom, I have these really cool creative ideas. I'm going to email them to you, and I want you to look at them and let me know what you think." Well, of course she had to stop everything she was doing at that moment because Jody needs you to do this right now. Well, she gets on the phone and she so kindly dropped everything she was doing to look at my creative designs. And her response was, "I don't like them. Like a couple of them, I don't like them." And then she goes on to say, "You mad?" Well, hell yeah, I'm mad, but I ain't going to tell her that because I don't want to fight with her right at this moment. But my stomach hurt. I went in and laid down to go to bed. I couldn't sleep. And I was like, why am I so angry over this conversation? Why? I don't want these feelings. I stopped and I said, "Okay, Jody, what's your part in this?" And I had to think. And I thought, oh, I had expectations on what she would say. And when she didn't say what I expected her to say, I was angry. But once I realized that I had expectations, I said, oh, there's my part. I had expectations. I have the power now that I know what my part is. I have the power to let it go. But if I choose to blame her for that response, then I basically am giving my power away and say I can't change it. It was just it was an interesting awareness that I had. And I kind of just chuckled at myself. There you go again. So to avoid that moving forward, when I talk to my mom, I say, hey, listen, Mom, I'm sending you something, and this is what I want you to say, and this is exactly how I want you to say it, and precisely at this time, so we don't have any more incidents like we had the last time. So it's just a little bit of humor that I have. Okay, so acceptance. Add that into your heart and into your life, and when you find yourself in those moments, accept people, places, things for what they are. The only power that you have is the power within yourself. Here's the other one. And I'm going to give a huge example on this. It's taking 100% responsibility for everything. You know, there's things that happen that's out of your control. But once you recognize that, that's okay, but let it go. If you choose to carry it, then it is your choice to continue to carry that on. I have a friend right now, and I like to use examples because I think stories really reach out and touch. I have a friend right now that she's just now in early sobriety. And when I first met her, she maybe had 3 or 4 days. Actually, I think she had 7 days. And she had shared that she was getting evicted from her house. Well, 30, 40 days goes on, and she gets the letter from the courts. She goes to court, and she appears there in front of the judge. And she had some supports with her to let her know that she's not in this journey alone. We're not. None of us are alone if we reach out and ask for help. She walks out that day knowing she had 3 days. 3 days to get out of her place, and she has 4 kitties. They're her babies. And I'm going to tell you, this woman loved cats, and you'll never question it, because when you meet her, she has cat tattoos everywhere. So one of the first times when I met her, I said, oh, I see you like dogs. She kind of looked at me, still a little coming off the alcoholic train. It was a little foggy. Anyway, she loves cats. And she went home that night. This happened on a Thursday. She had to make the decision on what to do with her cats. Why am I telling you this story? Because she took 100% responsibility. She no longer was playing that victim card. He did, she did, they did, the situation did, blah, blah, blah. She didn't even blame it on her alcoholism. No, she created the journey that she's on up to this point. And she's taking 100% responsibility. That Friday, she drove her cats to the Humane Society to get adopted. I can tell you guys, I cried over it just for her situation, because today I find myself, I don't compare myself to people, places, things, or situations. I do my best to relate. And when you relate, I feel that my heart is open with empathy, compassion, love, all the things, in my opinion, that truly matter. She dropped her cats off because she wanted them to have an opportunity to live a good life that she, at this point in her life, was unable to do. She had to go back to her house for 2 days after that, packing, cleaning up, moving things here, and then she moved herself to the homeless shelter. To this day, she is living at the homeless shelter and staying in the den. She's out every day getting applications. She's filling out applications for jobs. She is sending out resumes. She's in her recovery. She's staying in the day. And she has days where she just sits down and cries. And it's okay. But she's not sitting in her shit. She realizes that she has the power to create the new Kim. Her past, as I said before, doesn't define who she is. We don't sit around. I don't want to sit around and judge. I like to see people that take 100% responsibility, because when you do, you are saying, I own it, and if I own it, I can change it. If I push it all on the outside beyond me, and I don't take 100% responsibility, we're giving the power away and saying we don't have the power to change it because we don't own it. It's not ours to change. Bullshit. I'm learning that, and I love it. I absolutely love it. So, there's one other one. I call it self-sabotage, and I'm going to tell you, this is a crazy neighborhood. My mind, and I have told people, I do not travel alone in this crazy thing. It's dangerous, it's scary, and there's no neighborhood watch. And we need it for up there. I have self-sabotage mine, and I know you guys can relate. I'm not saying anything that I don't think that you can relate to. I have this voice that sits there and says, oh, Jody, you don't have the goods. You're not worthy. Oh, you know what? Don't even try that, because it's not going to work to begin with. I put up these big Let Go Be billboards, and I literally am driving down the car telling myself, the Joni voice is saying, why are you going to put that up? No one's going to want to hear from you. No one cares. And then I said to myself, why not me? Why not? Why not me? So I put them up. What's it going to hurt? Start doing. Stop listening to that noise that tells you all the stuff that holds you captive. And when I talk about self-sabotage, that's what I'm talking about, is listening to that voice that sits there and over. Not good. And I'm going to end with this, because it's been somewhat of a long video, and if you're asleep by now, I apologize. I created Let Go Be jewelry, and the reason I created it, because I truly believe that life is the act of doing, that we need to take action. I want to stop being that person that just talks about things. I want to create a better practice in my life. So I created Let Go Be jewelry, and it comes with a little card in it, and it says, and this is how I started bringing Let Go Be into my life, because it was a self-awareness. When I would find myself having these negative thoughts, or whatever it was, or self-doubt, oh my God, self-doubt, I would look at my bracelet, say, Let Go Be. I gotta let go of this self-doubt. I gotta let go of it. So what I would do is I'd take the jewelry off, rub it, do whatever. People do, some people rub it, do whatever, but they recognize where they're at that moment. I recognize the fact that here I am in my self-doubt again. I don't want to be here, and I have the power to not be here. So I take it off. I make an action step that takes it to a different level. So I take it off, and I said, you know what? I can do this. I will do this. I turn every negative thing in the opposite and turn it into a positive. And I'm telling you, I'm not kidding. The more that I continue to do that on a regular basis, I found that my default thinking wasn't going into the negative stuff that was holding me captive. I found myself being more productive, the energy that I'm feeling, because I'm not sitting here believing Joni has messed with me for 42 years. And the last 4 years has been this journey of my life. I love people. I have ups and downs. I have lost my grandmother, a couple dogs in this time, and you know what? I feel blessed that I had the honor to have such love in my life. And I gotta keep going. And I'm on this life one time. And I want to be the best that I can be. And the more of anything, I want to be okay just being okay. And Let Go Be allows me to do that. I'm going to be sending you another video, probably 2 or 3 days. And I'm going to have one exclusive, big, huge thing that I'm going to share with you in reference to Let Go Be. But I don't want to share it on this video. I want to hold it to the last. So I'll see you in 2 to 3 days. And Let Go Be, and I hope you love this video. I hope you love what you're hearing, and I especially hope that I am bringing love into your heart. So thank you, and Let Go Be.